It is a phenomenon common throughout the world. You can see it everywhere you go, from the top of Mount Everest to the major cities, to the conservatives. They call these man-made phenomena contrails. For the conspiracy theorists, they are known by their more famous name, chemtrails. For every human being on this planet, the sky above us has changed dramatically. The beautiful blue color of our world is now scarred by lines etched by our own modern invention, the airplane. Is there any scientific explanation for what is happening? According to the scientific community, there is. It all comes to water. As claimed by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, water vapor is normally emitted during flight by all types of aircraft engines, be that of a propeller-driven or jet engine. The water vapor then undergoes a transformation from water droplets into ice particles. The ice particle that forms is called condensation trails, hence the word contrails. Now, the size and length of the contrails depends on two factors. In accordance with the U.S. Air Force, for the contrails to last longer, the atmosphere requires a high humidity and low temperature environment. That means that the ice crystals can stay for many hours and grows to hundreds of meters in length. Which we now come to our next topic. What are chemtrails? Dane Wigington, a prominent chemtrail conspiracy theorist, and now manages Geoengineering Watch, a website that is at the forefront on the fight against artificial modification of Earth's climate through the use of aerosols to reflect sunlight as a way to stop climate change, is adamant that the trails that we see forming behind many aircrafts are dispensing chemicals Mr. Wigington claims contains sulfide or sulfur dioxide. Hydrogen sulfide, or H2S, as stated by OSHA, is a colorless, flammable, and extremely hazardous gas with a rotten egg smell. It mostly occurs naturally in crude petroleum, natural gas, and hot springs. Sulfur dioxide, or SO2, on the other hand, is another toxic gas that is released by volcanic activity and as byproduct of the burning of fossil fuels, but has more potential to stop global warming than hydrogen sulfide. Remember the Mount Pinatubo eruption in the Philippines on June 15, 1991? It caused the global temperature to drop by 0.5 degrees Celsius. So why would governments here and abroad allow such secrecy when all they are trying to do is to save the planet? Why can't they just broadcast to the world that the chemicals that they are releasing are paramount to our survival? If people like Dane Wigington are to be acknowledged, and all of these chemicals that are being released into the atmosphere has something to do with putting a brake on global warming, then how come temperatures across the globe are still rising and glaciers are still melting? As reported by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the 5 hottest years on record in the United States have been in the last decade, and 2016 was the hottest year in 137 years of record keeping. Unless there's a third reason, which we have not thought about, and have connections to other events in history that may seem far-fetched, but if you look at it closely with an open mind, it will unravel the very fabric of your daily lives and open doors to darker mysteries. The missing link to our story is 80 years ago in the Black Forest near the city of Freiburg, Germany. To many people today, Freiburg is a university city of about 2 million residents. It is a charming place known for its vineyards. What most people don't know about Freiburg is that it is at the center of one of the greatest UFO cover-ups in modern times. On the eve of World War II in Europe, an unknown saucer-shaped aircraft crashed in the Black Forest. An apparent eyewitness to the crash was a German writer by the name of Jan von Helsing. According to him, the event gave the Nazis the fuel to ravage the world. For after the crash, Nazi Germany became an overnight technological superpower of the era. But then a series of events would unfold that baffles the mind. The question that we have is this: did the Freiburg UFO carry more than advanced technologies and dead alien pilots? On May 10, 1940, the day Germany invaded France, Lieutenant Paul Seidel of the Luftwaffe was on a bombing mission to raid the French city of Dijon when his squadron dropped a total of 69 bombs on the city Freiburg, killing a total of 57 people. The Nazis covered the incident and blamed the Allies for the destruction of their own city. The Allies, on their part, saw the incident as a Nazi cover-up of the ever-changing fog of war. So, let's say the Nazis bombed Freiburg. Then why did they? You might answer that it was part of their plan for the invasion of France, a propaganda method to instill hatred against their enemies. But that would be a weak excuse, don't you think? A small diversionary tactic that would not affect the outcome of the war, especially with the near invincibility of the German war machine at the time. Perhaps the Nazis were trying to eradicate something that survived the crash of 1936. An alien life form that the Nazis overlooked and could not control its spread. A fungus? An alien super predator? Or maybe an out-of-this-world virus? Whatever it was, it compelled the Allies in the autumn of 1943 to lure people out of their hidings by dropping leaflets over northern Germany on the concealment that homeless people of the Reich would be safe in Freiburg. Did the Allies find out the truth about their new terror from the unknown and plan to stop it from spreading to other parts of Europe? Or was it just another brutal tactic of the times to kill as many enemies as they could, regardless if they were civilians? Fast forward to November 10, 1944. Despite Freiburg's low military importance to the Allies, the city was marked for carpet bombings, and the ensuing action resulted to 2,797 deaths. Whatever the reason, one thing is for sure: chemtrails began during World War II, as some of the earliest photos would prove. Perhaps mainstream science is right about chemtrails, and that they are just normal condensations made by our airplanes. Maybe they are aerosols sprayed to the atmosphere to somehow stop climate change. But if you're like us, you will question this differently. Could it be that the governments of the world have joined together in fighting this secret foe? And only by releasing these chemtrails could they control the growth of these alien invaders? Thank you for watching. Please tell us what you think. If you like this episode, please subscribe so we may follow it up by exploring the idea: The Secret War, only at Arcane Reasons.